Now call this meeting of the Jacksonville City Council to order. I want to welcome everyone who's come out tonight for the meeting. I know a lot of you are here for presentations, and I also want to welcome those who are viewing the meeting on G10 television. At this time, I would ask everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mayor Pro Tem Lazara, followed by the invocation.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, as always, we pause at this time to give you thanks. To give you thanks for the blessings and the benefits that you bestow upon us individually, and as this, the city of Jacksonville. We give thanks tonight that we have the privilege of living in the city of Jacksonville. And we pray that the gifts and the talents that you have given to each of us, that we will use those in service to you and to our fellow citizens, so that we might live out our motto of being a caring community. As always, we pause to remember our service members who are serving here and away. We pray for their safety. We pray for their anxious families. Always give guidance and direction to our mayor and to our council. All this we ask in your holy name. Amen. Number 5, Mayor.
Well, we're going to do that when we do the consent items.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Okay, we're going to do a few presentations, I'm proud to say. We'll come around the front. So don't yell in it. The first presentation I'd like to make tonight is, first off, I want to call up a good friend of this city, Colonel Mike Scalise and his wife. Thank you, Ms. Scalise. Colonel Scalise is a native of Hampton, Iowa, and a graduate of Buena Vista College at Storm Lake. He was commissioned as second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps in December of 1988. Colonel Scalise graduated from the Marine Corps Officer Basic School, Logistics Officer Basic Course, Army Logistics Officer Advanced Course, and the Air War College. He has a bachelor's degree in business management and a master's degree in strategic studies. In addition to his commands at platoon and company levels, Colonel Scalise commanded Marine Wing Support Squadron 272 and served as the commanding officer of Marine Corps Logistics Base, Barstow, California, from June 2012 to July 2015. Since August of 2016, he has been serving as the Deputy Commander for Marine Corps Installations East, Marine Corps Base, Camp Lejeune, as the Commander of Marine Corps Installations East and the Camp Lejeune Marine Corps Base from June to August 2017. And during his tenure, the Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune received the 2016 and the 2017 Commander-in-Chief's Annual Award for Installation Excellence. Colonel Scalise has been a great partner and a key to the excellent relationship that we share with Camp Lejeune between our military and civilian communities. We're very fortunate to have that relationship here in Jacksonville. It's not always been that good, but I don't see how it could get any better, but it will. During his career, Colonel Scalise has accomplished broad and diverse tasks in both combat and peace, highlighting the culmination of 30 years of honorable and dedicated service to the United States Marine Corps and our nation. And with that, I say thank you, not only for your service in the Marine Corps, but your service in this community. You've been a very go-to guy, shall we say, asset. Working with you with the cooperative planning group, we've done a lot of good things over the past couple of years there that has improved both the military population and the civilian population to make things a lot better for everybody. And I want to thank you for that, and thank you for your time and effort, and I understand you're going to remain a resident of our beautiful state after retirement, and we're glad to hear that. But thank you, Colonel Scalise. Appreciate it. And just when you thought I was finished with you, whereas Colonel Michael Scalise, this is a proclamation, currently serves as Deputy Commander of Marine Corps Installations East and Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune, a position he has held since August of 2016. In addition, he served as Commander of Marine Corps Installation East Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune from June through August 2017. Whereas Colonel Scalise was a critical partner and a key individual behind the successful partnerships that exist between the military and civilian communities in Jacksonville, he served as the chairman of the community's cooperative planning group for 2 years and was the driving force behind numerous interlocal government support agreements that have been executed during his tenure. Whereas Colonel Scalise's superior performance of duty is the hallmark of a career devoted to accomplishing broad and diverse tasks in both combat and peace, highlighting the culmination of 30 years of honorable dedicated service to the United States Marine Corps and our nation, as I said before. Now, therefore, I, Sammy Phillips, the mayor of the city of Jacksonville, do hereby join City Council, staff, and citizens of the city of Jacksonville in expressing appreciation to Colonel Michael Scalise for his honorable, loyal, and dedicated service to our country and for the lasting contribution he has made to our community, and we extend to him our best wishes for success in all his endeavors in the future. Proclaimed this 21st day of August, 2018, and I'd like to present you with this proclamation. Please do.
I'll only be brief, but real quick. Mr. Mayor, members of the chamber, I'm humbled. I really am. I'm touched, and one of the great things about being a partnership for this of this great city is I've made some great personal friends, and I want to include Mr. Woodruff in that and Mr. Massey. What a phenomenal relationship has been working. Your class acts, your friends, Chief, where you at? You're around here. I mean, just we are so lucky to have leaders of this city representing this area. So this has been my home. I started out here at Camp Lejeune. This is the bookend of my career. But it's still my home, and I look forward to seeing you all around. And thank you again. I'm very, very honored by this.
Well, thank you. Great job. It was a lot of fun working with you too, by the way. We got a lot of stuff done. Now I'd like to call up Chief Mike Yanero, who's Director of Public Safety, and Mr. Charles Bellows, and we're going to present a Civilian Commendation Award. Chief, how you doing? Mr. Bellows. Good to meet you, sir. Meet you, Bellows. Yes, sir. Good to meet you. On November 12, 2017, Mr. Charles Bellows was parking his vehicle in the Piney Green Shopping Center parking lot when he noticed a disturbance taking place in a nearby vehicle. 3 individuals in the vehicle were shooting heroin when the driver of the vehicle began to have difficulty breathing. The occupants of the vehicle were panicking and screaming for assistance. Mr. Bellows ran to assist them. While checking the driver's pulse, he dialed 911. The person's pulse was strong, but their breathing was sporadic. Mr. Bellows removed the driver from the car to open the victim's airway. The driver took a breath and stopped breathing. Mr. Bellows began CPR until relieved by the arriving first responders. Mr. Bellows' outstanding assistance during an emergency resulted in the life of the driver being saved. His assistance is commendable and is worthy of the Civilian Commendation Award. Mr. Bellows is an active duty Marine Warrant Officer 1 serving with 2nd MEF 2nd Intelligence Battalion. His 7-year-old daughter Nora was with him at the time this emergency occurred, and I'm sure that she's very proud of her father. He was attending the basic school in Quantico, Virginia from January to May and was not able to be here earlier to receive this award. So now we're taking this opportunity to recognize your a great act of community service.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
Mr. Bellis.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Take care. The next presentation, I'll ask Councilmember Washington if she would join me up front here, and we're going to recognize some beautiful properties here. Councilmember Washington is the council advisory or is the liaison to the Environmental and Appearance Advisory Committee. The Clean and Green Awards that we're going to pass out tonight are presented by the Jacksonville Environmental and Appearance Advisory Committee to recognize homes and commercial sites with outstanding visual appearance, outstanding recycling efforts, and personal or group service to our city that advances the spirit of being clean and green. Ed Blizzard is the chairman of the committee, and Genia Webb is chairman of the recognition committee, and Betty Schiffelbein works with her in the recognition of the outstanding awards. Are y'all here tonight? Hey, come on up, Betty, and join us. The Clean and Green Star Awards were born of the legacy of the Beautification and Appearance Commission and have been continued by the Environmental and Appearance Advisory Committee since 2012. This evening, we recognize a business and 2 homes which were nominated by citizens and members of the committee. I invite all those associated with Eastern Builders Incorporated, if you would come forward and join me up here. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. In a strip shopping, oh, sorry. She can come up and take pictures too. In a strip shopping and office site, Eastern Builders Incorporated has made their business location stand out. The courtyard welcomes visitors and employees to pause in a well-landscaped area in front of the business. This is a third-generation company, and this evening, Vice President Felix Negron, who is the nephew of President Gary Thompson, is here to accept the award. Together, the company leaders maintain the site and work to create the inviting atmosphere. The recognition committee believes that the office should be recognized for the faithfulness to the clean and green effort and for the obvious respect for the visual appearance of the city. Ms. Washington.
Okay. How you doing, sir? Okay. So this Clean and Green Jacksonville Outstanding Business Appearance Award is presented to Eastern Builders Incorporated as determined by the Jacksonville Environmental and Appearance Advisory Committee, and is given with sincere appreciation by the City of Jacksonville by issuance of Mayor Sammy Phillips and the Jacksonville City Council. So congratulations, sir. There you go.
Before we get a picture there, thank you very much. I'd also now like to invite up Jacqueline O'Neill, if you're here. Oh, there we go. We wish to recognize the residents of 516 University Drive. The recognition committee immediately liked the mix of well-kept landscaping, inviting seating, and scenes placed around the yard. One includes a bicycle that sprouts flowers. Another has ducks marching in perfect step in the same direction. Potted plants complement the planted landscaping, and the national ensign flying proudly sets the house off in a positive way within this well-established neighborhood. Contacted by phone at his work site in Georgia, Hugh O'Neill, Mr. O'Neill, gave all the credit to his wife, Jacqueline, and it is her name on the award by direction.
This Clean and Green Jacksonville Outstanding Residence Appearance Award is presented to Ms. Jacqueline O'Neill as determined by the Jacksonville Environment and Appearance Advisory Committee, given with sincere appreciation by the City of Jacksonville.
Good job. Thank you. Okay. Next is another residence. Is Joseph and Marilyn Kalura here by any chance? Hi, how are you doing? Hey, Jack. Good to see you. We wish to recognize our residents here of 215 East Biltmore Lane. Not everyone seeing the people taking pictures of their home would invite them around to see more of it. But the Kalura family did just that when photographers came to record this splendid demonstration of landscaping that fits the neighborhood. The two-story home is set off by attractive and functional railing that leads to a garden house. A white fence is set off by conifers and seasonal plantings while wreaths decorate both structures. Further invitation of comfort is made with the seating at the garden home and ferns hung from the front porches of both sites. The well-kept lawn is punctuated with tall pines that protect the home from the street. This is a showcase that also sports the national ensign flying proudly on a flagpole of the home and from the garden house.
This Clean and Green Jacksonville Outstanding Residential Appearance Award is presented to Joseph and Marilyn Kalura as determined by the Jacksonville Environment and Appearance Advisory Committee. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Beautiful home, beautiful home.
You do all the work yourself? She told me where to plant everything. There you go.
Thank you very much. It's folks like that that make our city beautiful, help make our city beautiful. Next, we have a presentation for the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. And at this time, I'd like to call Gail Mades and any of her staff that she has with her tonight. Is Gail here? Ah, okay. Are you all accounted for? Okay. The city recently received notification that the City of Jacksonville and its Finance Department have been awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting by the Government Finance Officers Association for fiscal year ended June 30th, 2017. The Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting is the highest level of recognition given in the area of governmental accounting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a local government and finance department. This is the 27th consecutive year that the City of Jacksonville and its finance department has received this recognition. The city would like to recognize the hard work and dedication of our finance department for this outstanding achievement. And again, you can put this with the other 26. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, good job, y'all. The next is promotion. I always enjoy doing these. And at this time, I'd ask Chief Mike Yanero, Public Safety Director, and Chief Jerry Hardison of the Jacksonville Fire and Emergency Services to join me up front. Sean, you might as well come up too. And I would be remiss if I didn't invite Ethan Wooten up. Oh, that pretty little girl. Ethan is being promoted from driver operator 2 to captain. Personnel changes and promotional succession at the Jacksonville Fire and Emergency Services has resulted in several vacancies. Ethan Wooten has been selected for promotion to the rank of captain of the Jacksonville Fire and Emergency Services. Ethan is a native of Wallace, North Carolina, and is an alumni of East Duplin High School. He served his career in the fire service he began his career in the fire service on September 11, 2007 as a volunteer firefighter with the Pinhook Volunteer Fire Department. He joined Jacksonville Fire and Emergency Services on July 6, 2010. Ethan holds certificates as a firefighter 1 and 2, technical rescuer general, and instructor level 1, fire officer 2, driver operator pumps, and driver operator aerials, and fire inspector level 1, and is an EMT paramedic. He holds an associate degree in fire protection technology from Coastal Carolina Community College. And Ethan's wife, Tiffany, and daughter, Ruthie, will assist us tonight as far as pinning those captain emblems on you. And I have them right here. There, you've got it. We got it. Okay. But first off, let's take care of business. You didn't get the black one.
We got one already.
Oh, he's got one already, okay. So we're going to take the oath. You've done this before, I believe.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Ethan Wooten,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will be alert and vigilant
that I will be alert and vigilant
in performing my duties
in performing my duties
as a captain
as a captain
of the City of Jacksonville
of the City of Jacksonville
Fire and Emergency
Fire
Services,
and Emergency Services.
that I will not be influenced
That I will not be influenced
in any matter on account of personal bias
in any manner on account of personal bias
or prejudice,
or prejudice.
that I will support and maintain
That I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and execute
discharge and execute
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as a captain
as a captain
of the City of Jacksonville Fire and Emergency
of the
Services,
City of Jacksonville Fire and Emergency Services,
according to the best of my skills,
according to the best of my skills,
abilities,
abilities,
and judgment.
and judgment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Don't stick the baby, okay? Here comes the fun part. There you go. I'll give them to you one at a time. Trying to figure out what's going on here, aren't you? She wants to help. Congratulations, Captain. Thank you. Next, we're going to do some swearing in do the oath of office for a couple of our youth council officers, new officers. And I'd like to ask Kai Irizarry and Amara Muller of the Jacksonville Youth Council, and Lily Gray and/or Pamela Trafton of Community Engagement. Are you here? Tonight, we will administer the oath of office for Secretary Kai Irizarry and Recorder Amara Muller of the Jacksonville Youth Council. The Youth Council serves to give youth in Jacksonville a voice. They govern themselves to perform public service and are available to provide connection from the Jacksonville City Council to the youth community. We, as the elected officials of the City of Jacksonville, welcome your input and suggestions. You need somebody to come up and hold for you, don't you?
Yes.
Come on.
Only one.
No, both. All right. Put you in charge of that. All right, so my new officers-elect, please place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Kai Rizari,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as, state your office,
as the Secretary
of the Jacksonville Youth
of the
Council,
Jacksonville Youth Council,
and maintain and uphold
and maintain and uphold
all the laws and regulations
all the laws and regulations
of the City of Jacksonville.
of the City of Jacksonville.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations and good luck in your tenure. Next, I'm going to call up Tamara Waters, and she's going to give you, she's an executive committee member with the Jacksonville Youth Council, and she's going to give you a little bit of a rundown. The council's actually celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, and this great program supported by the Jacksonville City Council provides a voice to the youth in Onslow County. Ms. Tamara Waters is executive committee member, and she's going to give you a brief report on the annual activities and accomplishments of the Youth Center.
Good evening. I'm Tamara Waters, at-large representative for Onslow Early College of Jacksonville Youth Council. Tonight, I want to publicly thank the mayor, city council staff, and our great citizens of Jacksonville for your unwavering support of the Youth Council. This year, we opened with our greatest turnout of 60 youth at our September 7th meeting. Throughout the school year, we retained attendance of approximately 25 youth at each meeting. February 17, 2018, we hosted the annual Mayor's Leadership Summit with over 65 youth in attendance, along with parents and various organization sponsors. This summit was open to 8th grade and high school students. The theme, Write Your Story, balanced the topics of self-esteem, bullying, and finding your passion and purpose in life. Essentially, what you're experiencing today in school is not exactly how your story ends. The annual holiday parade was a great opportunity to shout "One city, our city, my city." This year, we partnered with City of Jacksonville and showcased departments and walked along our city manager, Dr. Woodruff. We take pride in providing service to others. Just to name a few we participated in: Guardian Ad Litem Children's Carnival, which focuses on child abuse; Christmas Cheer, focusing on providing food to families during the Christmas holiday; partnership with Community Engagement during Community Development Week to help clean our lawns of our elderly neighbors; and a volunteer opportunity with our post office on National Stamp Out Hunger Day. We also have a philanthropic division called Harmony, helping all reach more options through new youth givers. This group of 12 youth council members received training on how the grant process works and funded 5 organizations whose goal is to give back to the youth in Onslow County. One of the great things of Jacksonville Youth Council is the council does not stop when school gets out in June. We have utilized the summer months to take college tours, inclusive of North Carolina State, UNC Chapel Hill, UNC Wilmington, and most recently we visited Duke and St. Augustine University. We also take the summer to unwind, in which we ended this year at Busch Gardens. Mayor Phillips, City Councilmen, City staff, and citizens, again, I say thank you for the support you've provided and continue to provide to the Jacksonville Youth Council. Thank you.
And I know some of you just came for the presentations and all, and probably don't want to stay for the whole meeting, but by all means, you're welcome to stay. But I'll give you a few minutes if you decide you want to go ahead and leave. This would be a good jumping off point. and I'm toast. Right now, I'm enjoying it.
And his beard too.
Don Herring's retired from the college. So did Mary Ann.
Yeah, I went to their. No, they haven't found anybody yet.
Matthew Herman.
Hey,
He
he can do it.
actually was at Carteret Community College. His wife actually teaches English at Coast for full-time English teacher.
Shoes to fill.
That's a
Don was a working.
Does work with about 10 people. All righty. So we'll go ahead and go back to work here in session. We have our first period of public comment for this evening, and I don't have anyone signed up, but if there is anyone that came in maybe after their sheet was taken up that wishes to speak at public comment, please indicate by raising your hand. I don't see any hands, so we'll move on to the adoption of the minutes and the consent items. And with the consent items, item number 5, we're going to take that off because it's already been taken care of on another agenda. So I would entertain a motion to adopt the minutes from the August 8th, 2018 workshop and those consent items.
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. We go now to item number 7 on the agenda, and this is a public hearing for a special use permit and type 3 site plan for Abra Body and Glass at 2679 Richlands Highway. At this time, I'm going to recess the regular council meeting and open the public hearing on this matter. And if you would please, thank you, Jeremy. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. And the evidence you're about to give is the truth. Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Agenda item 7 is Abra Auto Body and Glass. They are proposing a automobile service with paint and body at 2679 Richlands Highway. You'll notice the location on the vicinity map before you. Most of you may be familiar with this site as the old Mako or the Pepsi distributor on Richlands Highway, adjacent to Freedom Village. This is the aerial photography of the site. Along with being familiar with things, you may be familiar with the applicant, Abra Auto Body and Glass. They've been the applicant for a few other cases over the last 2 years for a site on Lejeune Boulevard that is open and operational. The property before you is zoned corridor commercial, and in this district, automotive services with paint and body are a special use. All the properties adjacent are also zoned corridor commercial. There is a portion of this property that falls within the flight path overlay district. And if you look at the site plan, there will be very little activity in that area, not that it would affect the flight path overlay district. The planning board reviewed this at their last Monday night meeting and followed the staff recommendation of approval, with findings of fact A through G being found in the affirmative. Mr. John Pierce is here representing the applicant. He was also the design professional for the site plan. And if there is no other questions, I'll leave you with that.
Council, any questions of Mr. Smith? Thank you. No questions. Is there anyone present that wishes to speak on this matter? Mr. Pierce? You can take his place, sir. Do you swear the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to make just a few brief comments, and I'll be here after the public hearing's closed if there's any questions. I also have with me Mr. Anthony Reese, which is owner of Aber Auto, and Philip Humphrey, the architect. And I'd like to make a comment. This existing site had 2 driveways, and we're removing one that was located approximately in the center of the site, and it's going to help enhance the beautification. And of course, it's setting may not really, and there was a comment made as we are we're abutting a single-family residential. Right now, that piece of property is, plans for it to be abandoned and the house be relocated and developed into a commercial site. So, of course, it's not a problem, but it is an abandoned house just to the, I would think it would be to the west of us or back towards Jacksonville from it. So that house is abandoned and it's currently under contract and going to be developed. And we meet all the requirements in UDO, and I think that the only thing I know that they're going to have a difficulty doing it is enhance it, make it even more beautiful, but they did decide on Lejeune Boulevard. But I'll be here to answer any questions if the council or mayor has any. Thank you.
Council comment?
Yes, sir.
We would like to commend John and the people with the company. Y'all have done a good job out on 24. The efforts that the city has been undertaking for the last 5 years to take this part of 258. We've torn down a number of vacant buildings. We've seen John and others be leaders in helping us redevelop that area, and I believe that this is a step in the right direction. We know that in the coming years, the intersection of 258, 53, and the bypass is going to have some major changes. Working on this portion of 258 back towards the 17 corridor is essential. So we commend y'all for what you're doing. We thank you.
Is there anyone else wishes to speak? This is a public hearing. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing and reconvene the regular council meeting. Council, you're being asked to consider the special use permit and type 3 site plan.
Mayor Phillips, I move that we approve the special use permit, the type 3 site plan based on findings of fact A through G being found in the affirmative.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 8 on the agenda for tonight is the designation of voting and alternate voting delegate for the 2018 North Carolina League of Municipalities annual business meeting. This year attending it will be Mayor Pro Tem Lazara and Council Member Brian Jackson. And at this time, I would entertain or ask for nominations.
Mayor Phillips, I nominate Mayor Pro Tem Michael Lazara as the voting delegate and Councilmember Brian Jackson as the alternative delegate.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Anybody want to make a motion to close the nominations?
I'll make motion to close the nominations and accept by acclamation.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That brings us to our report section. I'm going to start down here with Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor Phillips. One of the events I was able to attend was the recognition of Major Jim Capers, the viewing of his documentary. I think it was HSN Battalion actually hosted that at the Base Theater. For those who don't know, Major Capers was the first black recon leader, squadron leader. And he's one of our national treasures right here in Jacksonville. And actually, I call him a surrogate father at the same time. So I was real proud of that moment for him, because it's for so many that served during the Vietnam era and eras before that. And like we recognize our Monthly Point Marines, it's a long time coming. So that's my report, Mayor. That's my report.
Councilmember Bittner.
Attended a meeting of Civic Affairs last week, and the members are well underway to provide the appropriate recognition of Patriots' Day coming up in September, also the Beirut Memorial Observance, and I believe they've met with the representative of the census upcoming for 2020, and if we haven't, we need to appoint the Civic Affairs Committee as the complete con committee for Onslow County and the city. If we haven't done that yet, that needs to be on the agenda sooner or later. The other item is on the consent agenda, item number 6, the wholesale water agreement with Onawassa and the city. It's a far-reaching document that will provide, I think, greater efficiencies and economy, both for the city and Onawassa. And it's been a lot of hard work in terms of negotiating that and agreeing to the philosophy underlying a sharing of water resources. And I want to commend the staff and particularly City Manager Woodruff for his perseverance in working with Onawassa and the new leadership of Onawassa, Jeff Hudson, for taking the bull by the horns and bringing this about to fruition.
Mayor Pro Tem McGraw.
Just again, commend the finance team, once again, for a job well done. After 14 years, they still, that we've been around, that make us very proud, and we just want to thank you. We know it's a lot of work and details, and you guys always make us look very good, so thank you very much for what you do for us. Thank you.
Robert. Ms. Washington.
No report, Mayor Phillips.
Mr. Thomas.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment on the good news and bad news that came out a couple of weeks ago about, I see the chief has left, so can't talk to him, but I did want to, mention the fact that we did not receive the funding from the Justice Assistance Grant Program because we didn't have enough crime. Well, daggone it. I could do without a little bit of money, I guess, if you don't have that crime. I think we're in a good position. It is a safe community. It feels safe. It is safe. And obviously what the chief's doing is great, and I appreciate it. It's a commendation that we didn't get it.
Sure is.
Mr. Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to thank the members of our fire department for achieving accreditation again this year. It's a voluntary accreditation, but I think it speaks volumes to the professionalism of our firefighters and their leadership. And they, along with our police department, are also accredited, and goes through a rigorous process of making sure that they're highly skilled and professional, and I'm very proud of our Department of Public Safety and our firefighters. So thank them to both. And of course, our police, as Randy just pointed out, it's nice to be turned down because you don't have enough crime. So the other thing was I was impressed with the youth council. This group, this past group has really been active and have gone out and done a lot of things, and I think they're to be commended. And I'm glad that we've got some sort of an outlet for some of the youth here in this community that wishes to take a leadership, get involved in the community, give back, and get to see a little bit outside their schoolwork. It kind of broadens them and prepares them for one day going out into the real world. So very proud of that, and I think Mr. Mayor, you and the past mayors, their support of that is to be commended also. So thank y'all. So that's it, sir. I'm proud to be here.
Thank you very much, and
Yes,
proud
sir.
to have you here. That's good news about the crime rate. We know that we're a pretty well-behaved city anyway, but one thing I did want to point out too is riding around in different parts of the city and having lived here all my life for, don't worry about how many years. The city looks better now than it ever has. The most compliments I get about our city is our appearance. And I think that's it makes me very proud to hear those. And it's just, yes, sir.
I'd like to add a little comment. I went to, being retired, I get the privilege of taking the grandchildren sometimes to the splash pads. So we went to the Jack Emiett splash pad today, and I was very impressed with how nicely landscaped that whole recreational facility is. And if you would convey our thanks back to Michael and Susan, that place really, and of course the facility folks for keeping it up, it really looked great. So.
And thanks to you, Dr. Woodruff, about, pushing that clean and green like you have. It really has paid off as far as, the reputation of our city, and I thank you very much. And I'll turn to you for your comments.
We have a special presentation tonight relative to improvements on Henderson. We've talked to council about this before, but Andrew, if you will come up and brief the public and the council again on what's getting ready to happen.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a quick update on where we're at with the Henderson Drive project. We're going to be looking at starting this project here in the next couple months, or actually the coming month here in September. This project is a three-phase project. The city will be replacing utilities beneath Henderson Drive in preparation of NCDOT coming in and resurfacing the roadway. There's three phases in this project. We're going to be replacing the utilities. Then there's going to be a settling period, followed by NCDOT coming in and resurfacing the roadway. The project, the city's portion of the project will be replacing the utilities beneath Henderson Drive prior to NCDOT coming in and resurfacing the roadway. The utilities will be either replaced or repaired, are water, sewer, and storm sewer pipes. Construction of this project is scheduled to start this coming month. We finally have the contracts executed and we're moving full forward with this project. Phase 1 is scheduled to take approximately 6 months to complete, which is the construction of and repair of the utility lines. The construction limits for the project for the utility repairs is from roughly River Street to Jacksonville High School. You'll see in front of you on the location map, it stretches from the line here is Mill Creek, and then all the way to Jacksonville High School. The first part of this project, which will probably be the most intense part of the project, is the water line replacement. We're going to be replacing the water line from River Street all the way to St. Anne's. There's an existing 6-inch water line. We're going to be replacing it with a new 8-inch water line. The way we did the design of this project, we took into traffic as a factor for how would we get this water line in with the least impact to motorists along the roadway. So what we did was, you'll see on the blue line, is we pushed the new water line out to the very far lanes of travel on Henderson Drive, which will obviously increase the ability for motorists to travel around the construction zone. The second part of this, the utility repairs, will be sewer line repairs. For the vast majority of repairs to the sewer line, they will be trenchless repairs. The highlighted green you see are the sewer lines along Henderson Drive between River Street and Jacksonville High School that will be lined with a CIPP liner. The highlighted manholes you see are manholes that will be repaired with in place using grout and just to rebuild the structure of the manholes. The third part of the utility repairs project is lining of a portion of storm sewer for NCDOT on this section of roadway. In cooperation with the city and NCDOT, we realized that obviously we'll be having a specialized contractor on site doing the lining of the sanitary sewers, so we coupled with NCDOT to go ahead and get this section of storm drain pipeline for them as well. And it stretches from Doris Avenue to Jacksonville High School. It's very rough in that area, and it is due to that deteriorating storm drain. So some of the biggest impacts that we'll see during the construction of this project is going to be traffic control. For the installation of the water line, there will be lane closures in place for the entire duration of the water line being installed until that lane is actually paved. And that lane won't be paved until we can test that water line. So motorists traveling along this section of roadway can expect to see that traffic control 24/7, and it's not coming down. The work is also going to be scheduled during day and nighttime in order to reduce, allow the lining contractor to come in and line the sewer line during low flow hours, obviously, and just to try to get this project moving along as quickly as possible with the least impact to the citizens of Jacksonville. And the third impact that the residents will see is temporary water outages. As we move forward with replacing the water line and reinstalling the existing water services to the residents along this area, residents will experience some temporary water outages as we make those changeovers. So once again, this is a three-phase project, and once the city is done with our utility repairs project. There will be a settling period, so motorists can expect to see demobilization of the work on Henderson Drive for several months. And the settling period is to allow the trench areas to settle before DOT comes in and repaves the roadway, so we don't see any settling in the pavement. Once the settling period is over, NCDOT will come in and resurface Henderson Drive from roughly River Street all the way to Gum Branch Road, and we will have a new roadway. And that is expected to happen within the next year with their coming annual street rehab project. So the City of Jacksonville Media Services Department has kicked off a awareness campaign to the citizens of Jacksonville in order to make them aware of this upcoming project since it is so large. The ways that our media services are informing residents is by actually putting out utility insert flyers within their utility bills that are going out to the residents in the area of the project to let them know the project's coming. There will be correspondence put out in the newspaper, sent out through Connect Call, social media announcements. There will be a couple television news broadcasts done and a web story, and it'll also be broadcast on G10 TV. At the beginning and ending sections of this project, what you see in front of you is a sign that will be erected at the construction limits that will also inform the residents and motorists driving through the construction area of what's actually going on with the City of Jacksonville at work sign, and with the 3 phases listed. And as we go through and we complete one phase, we'll go out and we'll actually stamp the sign as done, and they can anticipate the next phase starting up. So everybody can watch the clock tick down ultimately. Once again, the signs will be installed at the beginning and ending of the project, right at River Street and at Jacksonville High School. Those should be coming up here in the next week or so. And that's all I got. So I appreciate you.
I'd like to commend Andrew. He's one of our emerging professionals and young professionals. You're doing a great job for us. Also, he was the project manager on the new splash pad at Northeast Creek. So well done.
Very good. Just out of curiosity, in your report there, you're working with the Board of Education on that.
Yes, we have.
As far as supplying them information and making sure they understand what's going to happen over there.
Well, more importantly, Mayor, we're working with XY.
That's all that counts. That's what counts. That's what counts.
One question on the water line replacement, is that going to require disruption of sewer service for the sewer laterals will have to be cut into?
The sewer laterals will not be interrupted during the trenchless repairs. They will be down for several hours as the liner.
The water line. Is the water line going to cause?
There will be some temporary outages on the water line services. They will be very minor. We'll actually install the new water line and test it and chlorinate it and get the new water line up and running. And then we'll come back and tie the existing services into the new water line. During that portion, residents can expect to be down 30 minutes to 45 minutes as their water lines are switched over. Once all of the water lines are switched over to the new water main that's installed, there will be a time period where we'll need to abandon the existing main, and that may take up to 4 hours, but it will be scheduled and broadcast to everyone accordingly.
To clarify, while the water line work, we understand that the placement of the water line, will it impact any sewer taps in the placement of the water line?
That was the question.
I understand. I apologize. And that is a no. It will not. We will be able to divert around any existing sewer services.
Will there be a time to the public to let them know the beginning start time of the day and the end time of the day so they can better prepare their days? And will those start times vary on the weekends for individuals?
With the flyers that will be sent out, there will be information on there as far as what construction that is going on, but we anticipate work being completed around the clock on this project. With the lane closures in place, it will allow the contractor to work. However, there are noise ordinance. We do have a noise ordinance, and we will abide by that noise ordinance if it becomes a problem with the residents along the roadway. Thank you all.
Also, in the One City Moment this evening, the Jacksonville Youth Council, as the mayor mentioned, or someone mentioned, they've now been in existence for 20 years. We saw the swearing in of 2 of their officers tonight. They've had some outstanding leadership. You can see the group assembled, and it's hard to believe that school is starting in another week, and we will have a new group of people leading the Youth Council.
Has the guy on the far left, has he graduated yet?
According to the superintendent, he is in his 3rd year as a 9th grader because he enjoys.
Not surprised.
Mentioned tonight on the One City Moment is the Mind, Body, and Soul Conference, which occurred. Finding outstanding leadership examples in major cities is easy. But having a well-attended conference here in Jacksonville on the issue of mind, body, and soul is a challenge. Lily Gray and others led this effort to empower people and to learn more about how they can control mind, body, and soul. The conference has now been going on for years. It was celebrated last year very successfully. It brought in a number of people into our lodging facilities. It was not just a local group who attended, but certainly a regional group. You can see some are faces you'll recognize. And then the last thing we'd like to mention this evening on the on the One City Moment is the Marine Federal Football Jamboree. It wasn't too long ago that this was only a dream. And when it started, there were only a few schools that participated in this preseason high school football activity. This year, it was expanded to 20 teams. 2-day event was created by the Jacksonville Onslow Sports Commission. There were large crowds. It brought people in from around the region. Unfortunately, rain and electricity from lightning caused the power to go out, and we were not able to complete all games. But again, the Sports Commission is to be commended. City staff and others have worked closely with them, and it was a great event and something we look forward to annually. Those are all the matters I have this evening. Thank you for your leadership.
Mr. Carter? No. Okay, with that, I would entertain a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel matters.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. We're back in open session, out of a closed session. And during the closed session, we made a decision to give the attorney and the city manager a raise commensurate with what we gave the other employees of the city, which was the 1.5% increase.
Effective July, first pay period in
First
July.
pay period in July.
Take a motion to do that in open session, please.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Opposed?